Hey up! I decided to mix two of my favourite childhood games, Skylanders and Pokémon. I made Tree Rex from Skylanders Giants, but Mega Evolved from Pokémon. So, here's what I did. First I grabbed my dusty, not been used in about 10 years Tree Rex to use it as a reference. A ball of foil will act as the frame to add clay onto, so I can attempt to save as much clay as possible. And I'm going to be using Super Sculpey as cosplay continues to evade me. Now, as I get to work making his tree stump body, I just want to say that this video is a complete nostalgia trip for me. I'm turning the old age of 23 next month and it's getting too scary too fast. So I found myself trying to cling on to my childhood to try and escape the unstoppable marching of time that's slowly guiding us all to an inevitable death. So the only way I can cope is by making a talking tree guy instead. Skylanders was so cool to me when I was young, and it drained a lot of money out of my parents' bank accounts. But each character I got felt like its own little holiday. It didn't matter to me that most kids at my school didn't play it, and in fact it made it feel like even more my own thing. I felt so immersed when I placed a character down on the portal. It was just so surreal. And even if it was just me, a dragon toy and way too many AA batteries. And even now, seeing a figure or hearing that portal sound, it's like a little time machine back to simpler days. And back to a version of me that was having these amazing adventures and whose only worry was which Skylander to beg my parents for next. But before I start breaking down crying, we should probably get back to the video. So at this point, I'm just finishing off his first leg and then I can make another one. Once it's been baked, I can get to work on his head, and top tip for making faces or intricate fiddly bits like eyes or teeth, you can pre-bake them with a heat gun or just in the oven, and then shove them into the clay, and that way you can avoid smushing all your hard work with your overly aggressive thumbs, although that might just be a me problem. I can squish a mouth into place, and then it's just a case of recreating the figure to get a good enough starting point for the eventual Mega Evolution features that I'm going to be adding down the line. To add more clay onto the already baked clay, I'm just using some liquid clay and this makes it stick hella good. You've probably seen me do it a few times by now, but to make the tree bark texture, I'm using a ball stylus and dragging it along the clay in sort of random lines. I can then go over this with some isopropanol alcohol to blend in the edges, but also get rid of any fingerprints that I might have left behind. Once his tree antlers have been added, I can move on to his arms. I didn't want to just copy the pose that he was already doing on the figure because that's just boring, but it's sort of what I accidentally ended up doing anyway. It's not exactly the same, but I wanted both of his arms aiming laser cannons in front of him, but I thought it would cover up too much of his face. So I decided to go with him aiming one cannon and relaxing the other. This is one of the Mega Evolution features, 2 cannons instead of 1, more spikes and more lasers. That just seems to be the theme with Mega Evolutions in Pokemon, just more of everything. I basically did the design as I went along. I had some ideas in my head, but I wanted it to be grounded in its design and not too overbearing, and I think I nailed it pretty damn well. Again, all the spikes and other small bits were all pre-baked to save me the hassle, as my chunky sausage fingers were not designed for precision. Whilst manhandling it, I may have caused some slight wobblage to his armature, so I made a little support stand to go in the oven with him. Now we can get to work on some of his Mega Evolution features, like this ancient Greek style helmet plume I decided he should have. No reason in particular, I just like these helmets. And he was looking a little bit top heavy at this point, so I decided to buff his legs up with some greaves. I stole this idea from this image, and apparently this is from Skylanders Ring of Heroes, which I didn't know existed until this video, but it looks cool, so I stole it. I wanted to have spiraling sticks coming out of his back, but I thought they looked a little bit dumb, so I went with a slightly less dumb design instead. So with some white primer, he's all ready to be painted, and this is the final Mega Evolution design. I didn't want to change the colour like some of the Pokémon Mega Evolutions do, because I think T-Rex in other colours, besides his normal colours, looks dumb as hell. But yeah, I'm shit at painting, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm doing with that, so enjoy a lack of commentary for a while. I've got some little tiny leaf things here for his pants which I can stick down with the help of some PVA glue, and I'm so glad I did this. It looks f***ing class. And I also gave him a coat of ultra matte varnish to stop with the acrylic paint shine. Once I've gotten rid of the shine on the rest of his body, I've got some UV resin here to give his eyes and lasers a nice shine. In my local craft shop, I've seen these tiny tree stump bases, and this seemed like a pretty fitting project to use them on, so I'm using them. Some holes can be drilled to set him into place, and then after that I wanted to bust out the leaves again to spruce things up, and to give your eyes something to look at on the base. So once I've glued him down and added some other details, and after you've clicked the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, I called it there.